The first thing Daniel Mercer noticed when he stepped into the marble lobby of the Bellamy Grand was the silence. Not the empty kind, but the respectful hush that only places soaked in wealth and power seem to command. Chandeliers shimmered overhead, polished floors reflected expensive shoes, and every staff member moved with rehearsed grace. Daniel smiled to himself. This was his world, or at least the world he believed he owned. He adjusted his tailored jacket and glanced at the woman beside him, Vanessa. Young, beautiful, impressed by everything. She clutched his arm as if this hotel itself were proof of his worth. "You always choose the best," she whispered, eyes wide. Daniel enjoyed that. For years he had built an image of success. Luxury cars, exclusive clubs, a life that looked perfect from the outside. What Vanessa didn't know, and what Daniel rarely allowed himself to think about, was the woman he had left behind to build it all. 3 years earlier, he had walked out of his marriage convinced he deserved more. More excitement, more admiration, more life. His wife Eleanor had been steady, quiet, and endlessly supportive, but stability bored him. He assumed she would crumble without him. That assumption had made leaving easier. As Daniel approached the front desk, ready to announce his name like a badge of honor, something unusual happened. The staff suddenly straightened. Conversation stopped. Heads turned toward the glass doors at the entrance. A woman walked in. She wasn't dressed extravagantly. No flashy jewelry, no designer handbag swung for attention. But she carried herself with calm authority, her presence commanding more respect than any expensive suit. Her hair was neatly pulled back, her eyes focused, confident. Daniel's heart stuttered. It was Eleanor. For a moment, his mind refused to accept it. This couldn't be her. Not here. Not like this. But as she walked closer, there was no doubt. Same gentle eyes, same composed expression. Except, now, there was something else. Strength. A quiet, unshakable power. The hotel manager rushed forward. "Welcome, Miss Mercer," he said warmly. "Everything is prepared for the opening announcement." Daniel felt the ground tilt beneath him. Vanessa leaned in, confused. "Who's that?" Before Daniel could answer, Eleanor reached the center of the lobby. Her voice, when she spoke, was calm and clear. "Good afternoon, I'm Eleanor Mercer. As of today, I am the new owner of the Bellamy Grand." Applause filled the room. Daniel couldn't breathe. Eleanor's eyes scanned the crowd, and then met his. There it was. Recognition. But instead of anger or shock, her expression softened. Not with weakness, with understanding. After the crowd dispersed, Eleanor stepped down from the platform. She approached Daniel slowly, giving him time to escape if he wanted to. He didn't. He couldn't move. "Daniel," she said simply. "Eleanor, His voice cracked. Words abandoned him. Vanessa's grip on his arm loosened as realization dawned. She took a step back, suddenly aware she was standing in someone else's story. "I didn't know," Daniel finally managed. "I mean, how did this happen?" Eleanor smiled, not triumphantly, but peacefully. "After you left, I had a choice," she said. "I could let bitterness define me, or I could rebuild. I chose to rebuild." She explained how she had taken the small savings she'd once managed quietly while Daniel chased bigger deals. How she had invested carefully, learned relentlessly, failed more than once, and refused to give up. How she partnered with people who valued integrity over ego. How, step by step, she built something real. "And this hotel?" Daniel asked softly. "Bought it last year," she replied. Today was just the public announcement. Silence stretched between them. Daniel felt something unfamiliar rising in his chest. Not jealousy, not anger, but shame. He saw his past clearly now. Eleanor hadn't been boring. She had been steady, loyal, kind, and he had mistaken her quiet strength for weakness. "I hurt you," he said, his voice barely audible. "I didn't see your worth." Eleanor nodded. "You did. But that pain taught me something valuable. That my worth was never dependent on you seeing it." Vanessa cleared her throat awkwardly. I think I'll go." No one stopped her. Daniel stood there, stripped of every illusion he had wrapped himself in. He expected Eleanor to walk away, to leave him drowning in regret. Instead, she surprised him. "There's something else," she said. "When I took over this hotel, I changed one policy." She gestured toward the lobby, where staff were quietly assisting a family with worn clothes and tired eyes. "We partner with local shelters now. Anyone in need gets dignity, a meal, a safe place to sleep. No questions asked." Daniel watched as a young boy smiled for the first time that day, clutching a warm cookie offered by a concierge. I remembered how scared I felt after you left, Eleanor continued. How invisible. I don't want anyone to feel that way here. Emotion tightened Daniel's throat. You turned pain into kindness, he whispered. Eleanor met his gaze. That's how you heal without becoming bitter. Daniel nodded slowly, tears threatening to spill. For the first time in years, success looked different to him. It wasn't about who he impressed or what he owned. It was about who he uplifted. As he turned to leave, Eleanor stopped him. I hope you find what you're looking for, Daniel, she said gently. Just make sure it's something real. He walked out of the Bellamy Grand a quieter man, humbled but awakened. Eleanor watched him go, then turned back to the hotel, her hotel. A place built not on revenge, but resilience, not on wealth alone, but compassion. And as the doors closed behind her, the Bellamy Grand stood not just as a symbol of success, but as proof that kindness, when chosen over bitterness, can transform even the deepest heartbreak into hope.